She thinks she's marrying her Prince Charming. 2 days before their Disney-themed wedding, she's found shot in the head on a lonely dirt road. Turns out the groom has a huge secret. Let's recap. This is Molly Watson, just days away from her happily ever after. She's beaming as she picks up her marriage license, the final step before becoming a bride. But watch what happens next. That's her groom-to-be, James Addie, not exactly bursting with newlywed energy. The Randolph County Recorder of Deeds tells 2020 James is argumentative, especially when he's asked standard questions about any past marriages. Molly thinks she's marrying the love of her life. But behind that cold stare is a secret so big it will cost her everything. So, how did these two even cross paths? Turns out, Molly met James at work. They were both corrections officers at the Missouri State Prison in Moberly. It started as casual conversations on the job, but soon it turned into late-night phone calls, flirty texts, and tropical vacations. To 35-year-old Molly, the 51-year-old James is charming, solid, stable, the kind of guy who opens doors and says all the right things. She believes he's a widower. She believed he's her future. After 7 years together, James finally pops the question in 2018. And Molly? She's all in. She plans a wedding straight out of a fairy tale. Literally. They book the Stony Creek Hotel in Columbia, Missouri, and hire a wedding planner to put together a beautiful ceremony with rich burgundy and gold everywhere, like a royal ball at a medieval castle. They pick out rings, get their marriage license, even plan a honeymoon to, where else? Disney World. Her friends and family aren't exactly fans of James. They say he's standoffish, even downright rude at times. But Molly, she's glowing, totally in love. And if she's happy, they're happy for her. She finally found her Prince Charming, and in just 2 days, she's going to walk down the aisle and say, "I do." But behind the scenes, something doesn't feel right. Before she met James Addie, Molly Watson had already been through her share of heartbreak. Her first marriage didn't last, and right in the middle of that breakup, she found out she was pregnant. That's when a familiar face stepped back into her life, Amber Brady, a childhood friend who quickly became something more. Their friendship turned into a romance, and soon it was Molly, Amber, and Molly's little boy living together, building a life as a family. For 5 years, things were good, but everything changed when Molly started working at the Moberly Correctional Center. That's where she met James. Amber says she knew something was off not long after that, and her suspicions were confirmed when she caught them alone in a motel room. Eventually, Molly's new romance ended her relationship with Amber. James has been married 4 times, and according to him, that last one ended twice. First with a divorce, then with a tragedy. He tells Molly that after the split, his ex-wife died in a car accident, says she was taken off life support after the crash. It's a heartbreaking story, but he tells Molly he's finally ready to move on, ready for a fresh start with her. There's just one catch. They have to keep things quiet. He doesn't want to upset his kids. The divorce has already been hard on them, and now that their mom is gone, he didn't want to reopen old wounds. It explains everything. Why she can't come to his house, why they keep their relationship mostly under wraps, and Molly believes him. Why wouldn't she? She tells friends he's been through so much, that he lost someone, and he deserves a second chance at love. But as the wedding day creeps closer, so do the cracks in his story. Little things aren't adding up, and suddenly, the fairy tale Molly believes in doesn't feel so magical anymore. After 7 years together, he still won't let her come to his house, won't introduce her as his fiancée to his kids. So Molly does what any suspicious bride-to-be might do. She turns to Google. She searches for an obituary for James Addie's dead wife, Melanie. But there isn't one. There isn't one because she isn't dead. But before she can confront James, before she can figure out what to do next, she's gone. Murdered just days before the wedding. It's late on a Friday night, April 27, 2018, and a driver is heading down a quiet gravel road in rural Monroe County, Missouri. Then they see it. A car pulled off to the side, headlights still on, and in front of it, a body. It's Molly. She's lying on the ground face up with a single gunshot wound to the back of her head. Her wedding license is still in the car. Her engagement ring still on her finger. Nothing's been stolen. This wasn't a robbery. This was an execution. With Molly gone, investigators needed to notify her next of kin, her fiancé. So they head to the address she had listed on her marriage license for James Addie. But when they knock on the door, it's not James who answers. It's a woman, his wife, Melanie Addie, very much alive, very much not in a car accident. And she has no idea that her husband, the father of her children, has been in a relationship with another woman for 7 years, let alone that he's about to marry that woman in just 2 days. Police bring James in for questioning, and he doesn't have much to say. His alibi? Full of holes. His story? Changing by the minute. And the evidence mounting by the second. And then there's motive. James Addie couldn't marry Molly because he was already married, and rather than tell the truth, he chose murder. 3 years later, he finally faces a jury. The trial takes place in April 2021. Prosecutors paint a chilling picture. A man living a double life, willing to kill to keep his secrets buried. They present damning evidence. Tire tracks at the crime scene matched the rear passenger tire of James Addie's car. A bloody t-shirt found near Molly's body was traced back to his home. Phone records showed he was the last person to speak with Molly the night she was killed. Even his ex-wife takes the stand against him. Melanie describes James as controlling, intimidating, and completely self-centered. So when she hears what he's accused of, it doesn't shock her. To her, murder sounds exactly like something James Addie would do, just to make a problem disappear. After just 2.5 hours of deliberation, the jury finds James Addie guilty of first-degree murder and armed criminal action. He's sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 10 years. In a final bizarre twist, James reads a love letter to Molly in court, still claiming his innocence. Tragically, Molly's parents didn't live to see justice served. Her father passed away in 2020, her mother just a year later in 2021. They died not knowing the man who took their daughter's life would ever be held accountable. But Molly's brother, the person she was the closest to, was there. He sat in that courtroom and watched as the jury found James Addie guilty of murder. After everything he lost, Molly's brother wasn't the only one left picking up the pieces. Molly's son went to live with his biological father and his family. They've stepped in to give him stability, love, and the kind of normal that was ripped away the night his mother was murdered. He's growing up without her, but surrounded by people determined to protect what Molly loved most. What do you think? How does someone live a double life for 7 years without anyone catching on? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget, we bring you all the crime in half the time. Like, share, and follow for more stories just like this one. I'm Chris. Amy and I are here 3 times a week with more recaps. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Hope to see you back here again soon. Until next time, take care.